Hey, what's up, everybody? Justin Young here with Agents Resource Group, Senior Life Insurance Company. And I want to do a quick training for you that we're sending out this week on the word win, and really taking win and winning and making that an acronym, something that you can remember that is a common trait among all top achievers, top performers. And if we take the word win, you see so many people that seem to win at a lot of things they do. Maybe not everything they do, but they're very successful. They tend to win. You hear people talk about, reference other people that have a lot of success and that win a lot in life, and they'll say, well, it seems like everything they touch turns to gold. Well, listen, it's not because they were born and put on this earth and they're just favored more than you are, or they've got some magic touch. No, it's simply they put the basics. They exercise the basic principles for success consistently. Again, the key word, consistently, because when you take that consistency and compound and combine it with the principle, it creates a compound effect in your life, because you don't win from what you do occasionally, you win from what you do consistently, okay? And successful people do every day what unsuccessful people only do occasionally. At Agents Resource Group, we're winners. We want you to win. Senior Life, we're winners. We want you to win. But if we take the word win and break it down, and let's make it stand for something. Let's make it stand for what's important now. Win. What's important now, as in right now. And that's a common trait among top performers, is they have the ability, the discernment, and the discipline to be able to navigate and understand, okay, here's what I've got to get done, and how am I going to eliminate the distractions? How am I going to prioritize my day in such a way that I'm the most effective, that I'm surgical with my execution, that I'm on top with my approach? And how we'll begin that is by looking at what's important now in your life, okay? Top achievers, they're going to, and you've heard me reference this before, it's kind of comical, but if I've got to eat a bullfrog, I'm going to go ahead and swallow that sucker first thing in the morning. I don't want to stare at him all day, okay? And what that means is if there's something displeasant, if there's a displeasantry, if there's an issue I'm going to have to handle, if there's a problem that's on my list for the day, as I sit down in the morning and I look at what's most important, what do I have to get done today so that I stay on task and so that I continue to meet my daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly goals. What do I need to get done? So when I look at that list, if there's a bullfrog on that list, if there's a big displeasant, something I'm going to have to swallow or something I'm going to have to do and execute on that is less savory, I don't want to have to think about that all day. I don't want to procrastinate and put it off, because that's going to create drag on what I'm trying to do. It's going to be like trying to go full throttle in the boat and the anchor's still down. It's going to be a mental distraction. It's going to create mental drag. It's going to affect my mental state and my workflow that I want to be able to get into. So feared things first. I'm going to eat the bullfrog. I'm going to get the thing that scares me. I'm going to get the thing that's going to create mental drag. I'm going to eat that first thing. I'm going to get it out of my way so that I can then move on and continue to work and move focused, soundly, efficiently, with laser focus for the rest of that day, okay? So feared things first. You want to get that big, ugly thing, whatever it is that you don't want to have to tackle that may be on your list for the day. You want to get that out of the way, all right? So keeping that in mind and going back to our acronym WIN, what's important now? It's imperative that you don't allow distractions to affect your day, especially with what we do. In sales, in final expense life insurance, it's impossible. It takes enough focus. It takes enough discipline and motivation, especially for newer individuals that are beginning to work on and build these skills and build these habits, okay? Your habits, your rituals, the things in your life that become disciplines that you just begin to automatically flow in. A lot of times when you come to work for us, you're used to punching the clock. You're used to working for somebody else. You're used to somebody staying on top of you. In sales and the final expense life insurance industry, we're going to inspect what we expect. We're going to be there to motivate you. We're going to be there for the training. But let's be real. Nobody's going to be there cracking a whip telling you you have to be at a certain place at a certain time in the morning. We can tell you that. But it's up to you whether you execute on that and whether you deliver on those timelines and on those tasks or not. So what's important now is something that all top achievers live by. It's a way to prioritize what you're doing. If it's Monday, okay, what's important now is not you working on recruiting calls, okay, that would get in the way of your personal production. What's important now would not be scheduling something that's going to affect your workflow for the day. An example would be you're not going to schedule to have your oil changed in your vehicle, okay, at 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning on a Monday or a Tuesday, okay. You're gonna make that annual dentist appointment or biannual dentist appointment on a Thursday afternoon or a Friday afternoon after you know you've had the ability to go ahead and create the momentum for your week. When I go to a chiropractor appointment or I go to a massage appointment, I'm not going to go and get a massage on a Tuesday. I can't relax on a Tuesday because personal production has not been met. What's most important? Listen, let me tell you something. At the end of the week, the only thing that matters is your deposit. Second to oxygen, money's the most important thing out there. You can't do anything without it. You're certainly not going to have any quality of life and any kind of stress-free peace in your life if you're always worried about, do I have enough income? Am I going to be able to make the mortgage payment? And am I going to be able to make my car payment? And am I going to be able to afford for my kids to be in all the extracurriculars that they want to be in this year? Okay? All of these things that become big things, money will solve most of them for you. Steady income, production will solve a lot of those issues, okay? It's amazing what it'll do, okay? Life is hard with money. It's almost impossible without money, okay? And you don't want those stressors. You don't want the little things like I talked about in the last video to become huge things, okay? When money's there, little problems don't stress you out and freak you out. Things are going to happen. Dishwashers are going to break, okay? Flat tires are going to happen. I mean, life is going to do what life does. And those things become huge issues and cause you fights with your spouse and make you kick the dog, like I said, and throw the cat or whatever. Those things become small things when there are no financial issues. When there are financial issues, those little things can be absolutely life-shattering, believe it or not. I've witnessed it, counseled, mentored people for many years and seen it firsthand, up close and personal, front row seat on that. So, what's important now is how you need to lead your day and how you need to live your life. You need to focus on what you can control, what's important now. And that's why, as I said, I'm not going to set an appointment if I'm at the dentist today, 6 months out, if there's any way around it. If they're working on Thursday or Friday, when I know I've had the opportunity to go ahead, okay, that's going to be 6 months from now, but if I schedule this on a Thursday or Friday, then I know that'll give myself the opportunity to gain the momentum on the week, to already have my week made, and I can focus on other things. All right, it's important. So it could be recruiting for you. You could be getting the cart before the horse there. It could be management of your personal time. Listen, a lot of times family activities, things I've watched producers over the years, once they get and have the quote-unquote time freedom that we have to be able to set their own schedule, they go crazy with it. They have no discipline, and they start leaving the field early if they're out in the field or getting off the phone early if they're a telesales agent to make every little old activity with their kids and with their children. Listen, I'm for being there, but I'm also for being there after you've done what you need to do, executed on your income, executed on your obligations as a final expense life insurance agent, and make sure that your numbers are there and the production's there. You could not work anywhere else in a quote-unquote real job and not produce, okay? You can't decide when you're going to show up if you're loading trucks for UPS. No, there's a specific time you need to be there. There's a specific amount of hours you work. There's a specific amount of production trucks and boxes and things that you have to load and that you have to get done, all right? Or they're not going to continue to employ you. Listen, treat this like a real job. Put your everything in it, and it will in turn change your life, okay? And be committed to it. But always know what's important now, okay? It takes a mentality change. But the only people that's going to make it long term in our industry and that's going to win long term are the people that have that daily discipline and to know that they got to keep going, because you don't know what tomorrow may hold. You don't know what cancellation may come off of business maybe that you wrote last week. You got to always be gaining ground. You don't know what you may come up against in the field. You don't know, maybe tomorrow you have a flat tire and it kills half of your day. Okay, things happen. All right. That's why it's important, though, to execute consistently. And then when those unexpecteds come, those bumps in the road come with life, your kid maybe, God forbid, has an accident or gets sick or something happens and you have to take him to the doctor and get him checked on. Or if something like that happens, it doesn't throw your whole world financially off, because, listen, I've seen it all. I've seen producers, say, well, this Monday I'm going to take it easy. I had too busy of a weekend. And then Tuesday comes and they don't get in the field until afternoon. And they maybe only just write one policy. And they say, well, by the Wednesday, I'm going to kill it. And they're just revving the week up slowly instead of starting off Monday executing. And then Wednesday, an unknown happens, something happens that is legitimate, and then they get nothing done. And then they're scrambling at the end of the week and can't pull it together, and the whole week's shot. Listen, this may sound simple. This may sound elementary, but success is simple. Success is elementary. It's executing on those non-negotiables, the simple things, the simple disciplines, day in and day out, whether you feel like it or whether you don't. Okay? But I hope you gain from that today what we're saying, what's important now. We cannot legislate that to you, but if you want to be successful, if you're hungry, you're going to put first things first. You're going to put feared things first, and you're going to execute and schedule on your week and make headway and take ground. That's what we're here to do, is to be productive. Listen, happiness, joy, all that comes from fulfillment, and fulfillment comes from being productive. When you're productive in your field, not busy, okay? We've talked about that before, but productive. When you're productive, that gives you a sense of fulfillment, and that fulfillment is what leads to happiness and joy in your life. So it's important to make sure that you're productive, that you're producing, that you're excelling in your field. We've got a storm coming up. This is the most rain we've had this year that I can remember. It rains all the time here in South Georgia, maybe where you're at too. But we want you to win. But you're going to have to know what's important now. Running a bunch of errands and a bunch of, small foxes, you'll hear me say a lot of times, small foxes spoil the vine. It's the little things that we don't think about that create a compound effect and get us off. The nose of the plane leaving LAX, headed to LaGuardia, can be off they've done whole television shows on the logistics and the science of this. The nose of that plane can be off just an inch and end up thousands of miles from LaGuardia leaving LAX. Okay, you can be off just a little bit, but that little bit being off, compounded over time, leads you further and further away. It's not the one cheeseburger, okay? It's the one that you think's occasionally that you get over and over again, and next thing you know, instead of replacing that with a salad, you end up with a weight issue that you never anticipated on having, okay? But you said, well, it's just a little bit here and there. Those things do compound, okay? And I'm just trying to talk to you practically today because we want you to win. We want you to be successful. But again, you're going to have to know what's important now, and you're going to have to put the first things first and the feared things first. I hope this has helped you today. Listen, if it helps you, take a sticky note, put it on the hood of your car if you're in the field. If you're on the phone selling, put win, what's important now on your screen. Every time a distraction comes or you get a text or somebody want you to go run an errand or do something, you got to be militant with it. You may have to tell, I talk to producers, well, I've had to take my parent to this appointment, that appointment. Well, you may have to intervene. You may have to find another sibling, somebody else to help sometimes. You may have to call that doctor and reschedule that for a Thursday or a Friday if that's possible. But you have to take action, okay? You don't run the day. The day don't run you, you run the day. You run your production. You don't allow these things, all these little things that happen around us, to control you and to keep you distracted and sidetracked from what's most important now. which is you providing, producing for your family, having a successful career, winning the awards, being able to take your family on these lavish trips with us to Senior Life. Listen, there's so much more to it, especially if you're brand new with us, than what you even realize. And if you'll hang with us, if you won't give up, if you won't quit. I don't like a quitter, can't stand a quitter, but when times get tough, that's the time to double down. If you've had a rough day, double down, stay hard at it, keep producing, keep what's important now in front of you. I'm serious, put it on the sticky note. Every time those distractions come, you'll see that, you'll think of winning, you'll want to win, and you'll remember what's important right now. A lot of the things that we allow to waste our time are not that important, okay? And your mission in life, the reason you're here, okay, is more important than these small things that we allow to sidetrack us and suck up our time and waste our time. I hope this has helped you today. Let's all win together. Let's make sure we're staying on top of what's important right now. Have a great week, everybody.